I forgot. I have to use these numbers here because they gave me numbers that I'm supposed to use. If they're not assigned numbers, you just go from 1 to 11. But in this case, they assigned us that we were supposed to use these numbers up here. So really what we're going to do first is find the sum of all of these numbers that are listed here. So you're going to take negative 84 plus 29 plus 16 plus negative 56 plus negative 35 plus 100 plus negative 1, negative 52, negative 76, 66, and 52. So punch all of that into your calculator. Now what are we getting for our sum for that? Negative 41? Everybody getting negative 41? Okay, I see a couple nods. So now our problem says we're going to do 46 minus that answer, which was negative 41. 46 minus a negative 41 would give me an answer of 87. There, that's the answer I wrote down on my paper. 87. All right. So number 2, if that little calculator thing would get out of my way, we have the following is a list of 13 measurements. Again, they give us the 13 measurements and say they're labeling them X1, X2, X3, and so forth. So this time we're going to do negative 13 plus the sum of all of these numbers up here. So again, first thing we're going to do is find the sum of all 13 of those numbers up there on the top. And we got what for our answer? Anybody get our answer yet? Still working on it. Negative 93. So you're just going to go to alex.com. Yep. Did you take Foundations of Math? Yeah. You can use that same login if you want, or you can sign up as a new student. So if you know your login, yep, just log in there. And we are going to add a new class, and then you're going to use that course code from the syllabus. All right, we got negative 93 when we did the sum there, so negative 13 plus negative 93 is going to be negative 106 for our answer. All right. Now the next one's a little bit different, but give her a try. See what you think that means. Yep, you got it. Yep, that's access code. So you'll stretch up the back of that and put the code in the back there. So did you get an answer to that one yet? Still working on it.
36 times 25 equals 900.
So 900 should be the answer you got. This here means I'm taking 25 times that sum. So you did the sum first, which means you got 36 when you did that. So you did 25 times 36 and 900 was your answer. All right. That's probably the only new thing that's on here that maybe you haven't done before. The rest should be really simple stuff. So on the next ones, we're just solving our equations for you. I'm sure you guys know how to do these, but we'll do them quick anyway. I want to solve it for you. First thing I'm going to do is move that 2 to the other side, so I have to subtract my 2. 5u then equals negative 20. We divide by our coefficient of 5. So u equals negative 4. And you guys already knew those. On number 5, first thing we would do is add the 5. So u divided by 3 equals 21. And then we're going to times by our 3. So our answer is 63, right? Go ahead while I'm moving the board, do the next one there. And so on number 6, you got an answer of 6. You added your 6 first, got 30 equals 5w divided by 5, and ended up with 6. Hopefully you already knew this. The next ones, we got a little bit longer equation to solve. Again, if you've all taken college algebra, you ought to know how to do these. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of my parentheses. Negative 10 equals negative 2w plus 5w plus 20. Combine my like terms, so negative 10 equals 3w plus 20. Then solve it like the previous one, so subtract my 20. Negative 30 equals 3w, divide by 3. And negative 10 is my answer. So on number 8, if I get rid of my parentheses first, I'm going to have the negative 7u, and then I would have what after that? Plus 5u minus 10 equals my negative 20. Next thing I'm going to do is combine my like terms. Negative 7u plus 5u is negative 2u, so negative 2u minus 10 equals negative 20. Then I'm going to add my 10. So negative 2u equals negative 10. And lastly, divide by negative 2. And my answer ends up being 5, right? Go ahead and do number 9. And for number 9, you got an answer of negative 2. Just for the video fun, I'll do it quick. So we had 6y plus, using my distributive property, 7y plus 35 equals 9. You combined your like terms, so 13y plus 35 equals 9. You then subtracted your 35, so 13y equaled negative 26, and divided by 13, got your answer of negative 2. Number 10, 11, and 12, still solving equations. This one now I have parentheses over there on the right. So 9y minus 33 is going to equal, when I use my distributive property, negative 7y minus 49. On these ones, they're normally going to move the variable to the left and the number to the right. You guys know that you can move them either direction as long as one's on one side and one's on the other. But I'll follow what they do on Alex. So they're going to move this one over here, so they're going to add the 7y. In the same step, they're going to move this over here, so they're going to add the 33. They're going to write it across the page, but I like to add it up and down, so I'm going to write it underneath. So if I do that, I am going to get 16y equals negative 16, and when I divide, negative 1 is my answer. So on number 11, same kind of thing. If I use my distributive property on the left-hand side, I'm going to get
5v minus 35.
5v minus 35 equals then my 7v minus 23. If I go ahead and rearrange it, I would do what?
Minus the 7v and add 35.
Minus the 7v and add my 35, doing the opposite when I move them over to the opposite side. So it looks like here I have negative 2v equals, if I subtract there, it looks like I have 12. My last step, dividing by that negative 2, so my answer ends up being negative 6. So go ahead, try number 12 quick. Hopefully these are really easy and just a refresher for you. And looks like most of you have that done. What did you get for your answer? 2. Again, just for the video, I'll go through that one quick. Negative 9y plus 15 equals, using my distributive property, negative 3y plus 3. I'm then going to add my 3y to move it over, subtract my 15, and so I get negative 6y equals negative 12. And when I take negative 12 divided by negative 6, I get my answer of positive 2. The next one starts getting into some graphing. We're going to do some graphs like some pie charts and histograms and stem and leaf plots and box and whisker charts and fun stuff like that. So just some basic graphing things to remind you of. Find the y-intercept of the line. The y-intercept of my line, if I have it in the form of y equals mx plus b, is that n number, right? The number in front of my x happens to be my slope. So the y-intercept of my line on this first one, 6.5. My y-intercept on number 14 would be,
0.6.
don't forget the negative, negative 0.6. Technically your y-intercept is when your x is 0, and if x is 0, I just get the end number, right? So on number 15, what is my y-intercept? 6.6, exactly. You guys already knew that. The next one then wants you to find both the x-intercept and the y-intercept of the line given your equation. Round your answer to 2 decimal places. Normally, if I'm going to find my x and my y-intercept, I'm going to put it in standard form first. So if everything's all on the same side, I'm just going to move my number to the other side. So I'm going to write it as 7.2x plus 8.7y equals, that's going to become a positive 6.4. I could leave it where it is, but then I'd end up moving it all the time. X-intercept and y-intercept. For my x-intercept, the y is 0. For my y-intercept, the x is 0. So what I do when I'm doing my x-intercept is basically I just cover up the y, because if that's 0, it's gone. I'm going to take this n number divided by my coefficient of my x. So to find my x-intercept, I end up taking 6.4 divided by the 7.2. I'm not going to do that in my head. I'm going to let you do that on your calculator. And you came up with 0.88888888, right?
Yep.
We want to round our answer to 2 decimal places. That means 2 places after the decimal. So we would round that off to 0.89, right? Now on my y-intercept, I'm putting 0 in for the x. So if I cover up the x term, again, all I'm going to end up doing is taking that n number divided by my coefficient of my y. So for my y-intercept, 6.4 divided by my 8.7. Again, I just use my calculator, unless you really like to do long division. If you divide 6.4 by 8.7 on your calculator, you get 725? 735. So if I round that off to 2 decimal places, I would use 0.74 then, because I have to round that one up, right? So quick way of finding your x and y-intercept. Once it's in standard form, your x-intercept, you're going to take the n number divided by the coefficient of the x. My y-intercept, the n number divided by the coefficient of the y. Unless you really want to put 0 in and all that fun stuff. So 17, same kind of thing. I want to find my x and y-intercept. First thing I'm going to do is move this over so I have it in standard form. So I have 9.9x minus 2.2y equals negative, I almost can read my decimal, so I'm going to put it in there again, negative 4.5. So what am I going to do to find my x-intercept?
Negative 4.5 divided by 9.9.
Yep. Negative 4.5 divided by the 9.9 that's in front of my x. Y is 0, it's gone, so I just end up dividing. And so, if I divide that on my calculator, I get
0.45.
negative 0.45. Everybody getting that? I'm assuming you rounded it off already. Negative 0.45. To find my y-intercept, what would I do? because they're already busy doing it. I'm going to take my negative 4.5 and I'm going to divide it by the negative 2.2, which is in front of my y. And I would end up with what? 2.05. My marker doesn't want to put it exactly where I think it's going to go, and it always looks like it's in a weird spot. 2.05 is what you should get when you round that off to 2 decimal places. Go ahead, do number 18. Yeah, exactly. So you probably started by moving this to the other side, so you'd have a positive 9.2 over there. My X-intercept, I did 9.2 divided by 2.2, so my answer was, I know you had answers, I walked by and looked. 4.18. On the second part of that, for your Y-intercept, you're going to have your 9.2 divided by the negative 2.4, which was in front of our Y, and our answer then was negative 3.83. All right, any questions on any of those? I went through them quick because I assumed you pretty much already knew what you were doing there. All righty. I'm going to let you go ahead and work for a bit. On your pie chart, you want to have everything done from day 1 or day 2. Also, if you didn't get your guided reading and your questions from chapter 1 done, you want to get those done because we're going to talk about chapter 1 on our next homework page.